All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. That way, we get out of here at a reasonable hour. So first off, so everybody knows, we are videoing tonight and recording the audio. So that'll be posted online after the fact. So it's just we have some important stuff to talk about today. Reverend Clayton, can you lead us in prayer to start off our meeting? Okay, so one of the major focuses of our meeting tonight is going to be about an issue with neighborhood safety. We had some break-ins earlier this month, and I'm not going to go into it a lot because we have different people to talk about it. So I think first we'll ask Ms. Sims, will you come up and talk about what happened? No? Well, I mean, from what I understand, you were there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yes. Well, not when they actually broke in, but they're my next door neighbors.
Mm-hmm. And we'll let Mr. Harmon talk.
Yes, and they were out of town.
Right. So just come up and tell us what happened in your experience. Like,
Okay.
no pressure, just what you...
Okay. Well, the home was broken into in the end of August. And actually, we don't know if the police came out when ADT called them or not. They said they sent somebody out, but we don't know that they checked the house or anything. But anyway, we got a second and third call. And on the third call, the second was at 2 o'clock in the morning. I missed that call because it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep. And they only had one phone number because they gave me their number. They gave them ADT my number in case they were out of town. So I called them at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I spoke with ADT and they said, well, the police had been out and everything was okay. Well, unfortunately, everything was not okay. They had broken in and torn up. They had just ransacked that house. Every drawer was pulled out. It was terrible. But then the only reason I knew that was because at 11 o'clock we got another call. And that's when I called them and said, send a cop out because we need to go over there and see what's going on. And I had the key and we went in the house and that's when we found out. Well, after that is when all the issues came about. They looked next door and saw all of their things in the neighbor's yard. Or at least some of their things. And we called the police. They came out, went in the back, went and asked homeowners if they could go back there, because now they can tell you more about that because they were there. I just know I went over there afterwards, and a lot of the stuff was in the backyard, coins, and our real issue came when we couldn't get a search warrant for that house. And we don't really know to this day why we couldn't get a search warrant for that house that night. They took some pictures of the things, but the lady let them look inside the house. After finding coins, gun, everything, like 3 or 4 things in their backyard, and then when they went in the house, they also found coins. And the police, it was about 5 or 6 cars. However, we still couldn't get a search warrant to search, and she wouldn't let them look in the garage. This is the neighbor right next door. So because of that, we were begging them to get a search warrant to come in that night before they could remove all the stuff. We were hoping to at least get some of the stuff back. But we don't really know what happened to that deal. And not to this day, we don't know what happened, why we couldn't get a search warrant. So I'm going to let the homeowners pick up from there.
Thank you. Mr. Harmon?
I'm a stranger here to most of you. A lot of folks came to my house after my house was burglarized. But my name is John Harmon. I live at 1143 Greenbrier Street. And on Sunday, April the 8th, my next door neighbor broke into my house. I know it was my next door neighbor.
John, they're having trouble hearing you a little bit. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
it was my neighbor. I can call his name if it's not a,
Let's not
all
call
right,
names
my
out.
neighbor. I found the stuff in his yard. He had several things in his yard, like a fire pit he got from us. He mowed his grass that day with a mower that I believe he stole from us. That's brass. That's the next Thursday after the robbery. And I've got telltale signs of where he's been in my yard trying to, yeah. I'll discuss that later. But the idea is, I talked to the commander of investigations, and I told her, I said, I need to do something before I call the mayor. Then she got friendly. She probably doesn't want us to talk to the mayor, but I intend to talk to the mayor about this issue. We need more detectives on the force. We need a detective on call, one precinct at a time, just one precinct. We need a detective because my house got broken into. The Rigby, Detective Rigby said they had no fingerprints. So that means they didn't dust the house. We've got no fingerprint. Somehow they didn't get the fingerprint job done. And I hold the commander responsible because they didn't search my house until Friday night. I asked the commander, I said, did you ever search my house? Oh, I looked in the carport Saturday. They already had the stuff and gone by then. I'm not happy with the police department, but I know it's a multiple problem. It's not just you guys. It's the whole force is letting me, a tax-paying citizen, down, and I am angry. I just thought I'd mention that. I'll leave it in God's hands. I don't know what else to say.
That's what I wanted.
I'm just disappointed with the city, with their response, and their lack of care. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, my little one was talking back there. All right, so Chief James Davis?
Chief
Not here. Okay, so
I'm Deputy Chief Harris. I come up.
yeah, come on up. So I just wanted to start with them so that y'all could hear the concerns that we're having. And we invited y'all here. Like, did y'all get the police reports and stuff so we know? Like, we had asked for them, we didn't know.
Well, we're not going to be able to give you an actual copy of the report, and
But-
we're going to be careful tonight what we say because we are being recorded. Could be other people that jeopardize this case.
Exactly.
But we are going to answer any question or concern that you may have.
And so what we wanted today, or what like the board members and the what we wanted is an explanation of like what happened from y'all's perspective, because we don't want to jump to conclusions, but we have lots of concerns based on how everything worked out, and we just want to see from your perspective what happened and what we can do so that it doesn't happen again.
Okay,
Okay.
what we'll do, good evening, everybody, first of all. My name is Tiny Harris, I'm the Deputy Chief of Patrol Operation. Tonight I have with me Deputy Chief Hearns, Major Investigation, Precinct 4, Commander Keith Freeman. What we'll do, we'll just go hand in hand. What I do know is that the officer did respond to 1143 Greenbrier Street in reference to a house burglary that was on August 25th, and that was about 11:41. Now, it was to my understanding that the homeowners was out of town, the neighbors was at that particular location. However, it's hard, to decide what's missing if it's not your resident. So it's to my understanding when the homeowners did get back in town, they, gave inventory of their resident to see what was missing, those particular items. And there was a towel recovered with blood, I want to say, in the restroom. I'm going to give you bits and pieces. Like I said, we are being recorded. And the officer came back out and recovered that. As it relates to the search warrant where you stated that items was in the neighbor's backyard, that was probable cause. And the officer did what we call a consent to search warrant, where they did go inside of the neighbor's residence and recover a lot of those items. And, we did our part. Like I said, it's going to be, we'll give you bits and pieces. And photos was taken of that evidence that was recovered. It's to my understanding that you did get that merchandise back. So that's what we got right there. And I'm going to let Commander Freeman jump in after Deputy Chief Hearns. To my understanding, as of right now, they do have an affidavit signed for that individual. There is a warrant for his arrest. Chief Hearns or Commander Freeman, would you like to elaborate?
Let me explain something to you so everyone will know how the process works. There's no way that we can properly inventory a house if the owner is not there to let us know what is exactly missing. Now, to my understanding, when they arrive back to their residence, that's when the ball got to rolling after he contacted investigation. At that time, you spoke with me. You called. I called you personally. Yeah. And I sent my commander out there along with one of my detective sergeants. And it was to my understanding they advised me that there was a consent to search done on the house, and some items was recovered. Some items, a lot of items recovered in the backyard.
Okay, I got the, listen, the only thing I've got back was a shotgun that was model, and this is a model 12 gauge. They don't make them anymore. That was put about 15 or 20 years ago. They don't make them. That's a rare one today. If someone shows up with a Winchester model 12, I know who to ask. But I want to know,
That's very loud.
did the officer tell you he looked in the backyard, or did he not?
I don't know what the responding officer done. Well, I can't speak on that.
Listen, my understanding is he went around the front and said, everything looks good to me. Didn't even check the back window. He didn't check the backyard. I had a lady there that had the key, and I don't know why he didn't check the backyard. That is a very serious question. Because if he had caught the first entry, when the alarm first went off Sunday morning, they came back that night and raided the place. If they had stopped them that morning, and arrested them that morning, you'd have had a chance to get at least one break-in before it progressed Sunday night. That's what really worries me.
Now let me explain this to you. If in the case, if you had been at home the night that the incident occurred, and we needed to search that home next door, then at that point, my investigator would have been contacted. And at that point, we would have got the ball rolling where we would have done a search warrant or consent to search, and the investigator would have came out on scene. But by the homeowner not being at home, and the police officer actually don't know what's missing from the inventory.
No, he could have stopped the man entering the first time, and he didn't.
So
Officer at home.
let me ask a quick clarification question.
Go ahead.
You, like, when in your first statement, you said that the officers that responded at 11 o'clock or whatever.
Well, that's what time, yeah.
But she talked about
First time was 2
ADT.
o'clock. Well, it's actually 2 times.
Okay.
Another officer had mentioned to me that it was 1:58 and then 2 o'clock or something, where there were 2 attempts before. And that's when they called me at 2 o'clock and I didn't get the phone. I called him at 8. She said, well, somebody came out and looked. But then the officer said, well, he said he just did something to the front or something. I guess they just okayed it by looking at the front and
They didn't
maybe
check
trying,
the back.
I don't know
They
what they
checked the back.
did.
Was the back locked?
The back had the gate closed. She had the key to both gates.
Yeah,
She
okay.
had the key.
Did you come out the first time?
No, because they didn't get, ATT did
And
not get me the
right,
first
right,
time.
because you was
So
asleep.
I called them at 8
Right,
o'clock in the
right.
morning when I woke
So,
up.
so when we go to an alarm, whether it's your house or anywhere and we check the perimeter, if there's a way we can't get in the backyard, you know, they generally will ask for a key holder. And, right,
Yeah,
and
but
so,
ABT obviously didn't tell them that I have a key though.
well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, you know, once
they
you
could've-
find a place you can't get in, there's no way to, I don't know how big your fence is, to jump in or jump
It's
over.
got that, like that wooden fence beside it.
It's a
Yeah, I
wood
saw the
fence,
wood fence
yeah.
beside it. And that's a rare case when I looked at the house, because the neighbor know when you leave and when you don't leave. The house is literally just that close. So there's a possible, even if the police came, how close those houses are together, as soon as the police left, he could have came right back if he was inside that residence. You see what I'm saying? Because the houses are literally that close to each other in the wood fence. So, you know, like I said, we're going to do the best we can. You know, we understand everybody concerned in this room. We homeowners just like you homeowners. I don't want nothing to happen to nobody.
Well, here's my
Yeah.
question, because that part was over and done with.
Yes, ma'am.
I was hoping that we could get some of the things back by doing a search of the garage. Since she just refused to let them look in the garage, it was evident there was a reason, because she had it up the next day, had the garage up. So, because they had probable cause in the first place, once they, not just the backyard, but they actually went inside the house when she gave them consent to search and found some things. Was that not probable cause to search every perimeter of that house? And if, to at least get a search warrant to do that. Well, they would not do that. JPD refused, and they kept saying, well, the detective is gonna do it in the morning. Well, all the things will have gone by then, so tell me why 6 officers were out there and one couldn't go and get a search warrant. There was a judge waiting for one to be signed.
At that point, it should have been a detective call. So a search warrant could have been provided. I
Because
apologize.
that's once we found everything in their backyard. I mean, because now you're wasting time. Stuff is gone by the next morning, because what do you think they're gonna do with it? Just leave it there? The reason she wouldn't let you search it, there was a reason. Otherwise, if she let you search this, but wouldn't let you search the closets and refuse to open the garage, then what does that say? So I'm trying to figure out why 6 officers could not get a search warrant. And I begged them to, like, okay, listen, don't worry about the judge. You've got a judge that will sign a search warrant. Tell me why they wouldn't do that when they had all the probable cause in the world. That is our concern now. And then tell us, what is the procedure, if not that, then what's the procedure? Once you find evidence that is probable cause. Because if you get stopped in a car, it doesn't take a whole lot to get probable. Now that may be different than a home, but that gives you probable cause. You don't even have to get a search warrant from a judge. You just have probable cause to search the car. So tell me what it is that, because I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
And then you find the stuff. And then I can't get you, because then I can save, at least I can get some of my stuff back. But you made it to where I got nothing back, other than a few things. When there were 14 guns, I got one back. There were $60,000 worth of coins. It would be nice to have gotten some of that back. Ammunition, they've been shooting guns all night. And actually, the homeowner knew that, God, she refused to let them search for a reason. And she knows her children. If she didn't do it, then it's a possibility that it cannot be anybody else. And you hear them, she said, I heard them shooting guns. Well, you know they don't have any. So I guess I'm confused on, I mean, fine, because you arrest her, then maybe the children want to show up. Because at some point, something has to be done, and they have been, that's my point, they actually, this all started when they moved into the neighborhood, unfortunately. But I don't like to say anybody did anything, because that's just not what I do, because we don't know. But, you know, you got it didn't happen, I mean, this person's car was broken into, this house was attempted burglarized. So, okay, now then, you know, the common denominator, because they just recently moved in. It's a rental house. So, but I just wanted to know, what was the procedure? If that's not enough to get probable cause, then what is the procedure?
The procedure should have been, once he identified that there was evidence on that property and inside that house or wherever they recovered the property, at that point, a detective could have been contacted at that point, and if a search warrant was needed, that detective would have made that decision to terminate.
We had no detectives available.
Well, there wasn't no detective called.
Right, there was no.
Why didn't they call one?
Well, because they done the addition.
They dropped the ball.
I'm not gonna say they dropped the ball. They took some extra measures. To even get that consent to search, to get the homeowner to do that. It got somebody. It's not a perfect word. You know, at least we do have a suspect identified. Now we got some good men and women with the Jackson Police Department. I'm not here to make excuses. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they could have called the supervisor. A lot of things could have taken place. But one thing I'm glad about, that they did get that consent to search, and they was able to identify those items inside the house. Some people won't even let you in the front door of their house. So we wouldn't have had no problem call had they got in that house at first or in their backyard. You see what I'm saying? Even if they found those items in there, you still didn't have to let them in. So I think the officer still was working within the scope of their duties. So, you know, I applaud them on that part. But, you know, we will put measures in place so if things like this do happen. You see what I'm saying? So they'll know and understand, you know.
Have you, go ahead.
If someone take, usually like, you know, what I got serial number, got a hid away. If I just come and describe, I have a single barrel 12-gauge shotgun, Remington. Is that enough for me to prove it's my shotgun if you guys come?
No.
I mean, usually, like I said, I got serial number for every one of them on my gun.
That's the reason
You
why.
gotta get away, lawnmowers, everything, I got serial number.
You have to, you have to have a serial number. You have to have a serial number to prove it's yours.
I got 14 shotguns.
I thought we jumped in.
They have cameras.
So quick question, like, so say I'm going out of town for a week. What do I need to do, like, to have my house, if it's broken into, available to y'all? So, like, people are gonna break in the back, they're not gonna break in the front. I don't wanna leave my gates unlocked so that people, so that y'all could go back, but then it's just inviting everybody to go back. But if it is locked, they're gonna jump the gate, one way or the other, if they wanna get in that back. So what do we need to do so that,
When you, in all of you, when you have a time, and we've had people, I think in y'all's homeowner association will call the precinct, talk to me. We put what we call a direct patrol on that residence for today's date, the 17th through whenever, 20, whatever. And we have an officer on that beat go by every hour. They try to go by every hour and, you know, check it out. So we can keep a watch on it.
okay? And then,
And also, if y'all give us information, like if y'all do have people coming over there to feed your dogs or cats or something like that, so we'll know what vehicles to look for, if anybody's supposed to be there.
okay. And then, so, one thing I was thinking, like, if the back gate is locked, like mine is a combination lock, is there any kind of thing in a, like, I could easily give y'all the combination so that
Yeah.
y'all could have access? I know,
Right.
like, realtors do it,
Right,
so.
right, you could when we do the direct patrol. And that's what I was saying earlier, once an officer goes to even a lot of businesses, when alarms go off, they'll walk around the perimeter. But if there's a gate and tall fence and they can't get to the back of this business here, there's no way for them to go back there and check that.
So that would be it, but we could give y'all that kind of
Right,
information, so that,
right.
okay. And I forgot another question, you had a question too, Larry, right?
Yeah. How y'all doing? We did invite the chief. I don't know what happened. I talked to the chief 2 weeks. I call every day, talk to his secretary. So I don't want the members to say, well, Mr. Little said that Chief Davis would be here. And his secretary told me this morning that he would be here. So I'm a little disappointed there, but I'll find out in the morning. We wanted the chief here, not no assistant chief. We wanted the chief. Because the ball was dropped 2 Saturdays ago. 6 officers. Not one of the officers will call for a detective to come out. And all the evidence in the world. Then when we tell you 12 guns are missing, you would think that, I talked to Commander Freeman. 20 guns. That's ridiculous. And I called Chief Davis. Nobody did nothing. The ball was dropped. And there was no customer service. Them officers talk to us like anything. It's not gonna stop here. It's not a threat. It's not gonna stop here. The ball was dropped. It's ridiculous. All the evidence in the world, we couldn't get nobody to do nothing. But the Chief Davis doesn't show up tonight. That is wrong. Not for Ridgewood, not just for Ridgewood Park, for the whole city of Jacksonville. Crime already up. 14 guns. He just said 20 guns. What do you think gonna happen with 20 guns floating around? Yeah, I'm upset. The ball was dropped. That just don't make no sense to me. And like my neighbor Sarah said, forget about Saturday. Let's go with Sunday. What happened then? It just, I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't get it. And if JPD operate this little small community like this, I can see what problem the city of Jackson has. I ain't here to be nobody friend. I don't need to be nobody friend. Because I'm fired up about it. That was wrong. Yes, that was wrong. When I talked to Commander Freeman, told him what was going on, talked to Chief Davis, but we want to put it on the officer, put it on the little old, I don't know how long they've been there. Well, why did people like Commander Freeman, the boss, James Davis, didn't speak up and say, hey, I don't understand it. I'm lost. It's ridiculous.
And he had another complaint about Detective Bigby because they called her and she was like, well, we're not sending anybody out. No, I'm in service. White spoke.
Can I give you something about Officer Rigby?
Rigby.
She called Thursday after I had left town to go to one of my aunt's birthdays. And I promised my wife we would be there, whatever came up, we would still go. I kept my promise. But I told her, Rigby, I wanted to fill in the paperwork. She says, well, I will be back there Monday, and I have an arrest to make out of town. She said, I'll be available Tuesday. The arrest will be over, and I'll be back in town, and I'll take care of you Tuesday. All right, then Tuesday, let me get my glasses on. I don't make a mistake. Tuesday, detective said she had a felon, or don't bother coming to town. She had a felon to prosecute, and don't worry about the traffic. And she laid it on this lady to help me if she showed up tonight. I'm not gonna lay it on her to help me. I want Officer Rigby to help me. He tried to put it off on Taylor. I think Officer Rigby ought to take me a bit.
I'm not understanding, trying to put it off on Sarah.
Well, I think what he's saying is, Officer Rigby, when we initially called her, I work in the court system. I have her in my courtroom. So I knew her and I called her for them because they asked me after they told us who the detective was. I called the office and spoke with her and told her that they had asked me to call her to see if she was going to be coming out that day because that's when the officer said the detective would be out the next day. Well, that's when she said she was not, she was in service. And that the homeowner should be calling. So I told her, well, hold on 1 minute because I'm next door, but they asked me, I would not be calling you other than them giving me or asking me to. And so I took the phone to her and she could hear what the things that he said to her on the phone.
Officer Rigby, I could not get her on the phone.
So,
I called 3 days,
yeah, they couldn't.
and I could not get her on the phone, so then I called the commander. And I said, Commander,
That's prior to, that's before this happened.
No, that's after.
People, please turn your phones off.
That's after.
Come in the meeting. Yeah, yes, sir. Come out.
And so, actually, this happened after, so she came over to my house when they left on Thursday. And I called him from my phone, and so they had a conversation on my phone, and she told him that she would do that, and she would be able to talk to him on Tuesday, get the list of everything.
Which Tuesday?
This, today. And so that's what he's complaining
So
about.
you called her on last Thursday?
Listen, I called her several times.
Time before
She did
that.
not answer her phone. And she says, well, I was busy. Duh. But she says, oh, she said that she had a felon today and don't bother coming to town because of traffic. She would be in the morning to pick up, Saber, my neighbor came today, please have Saber send her the report.
Okay, email, that's why. Cause she mentioned to me about emailing the list to her. So she wanted them to give, cause they don't have an email and stuff.
Okay, and what list, so my detective haven't received a list of the property that's been sold yet?
I gave a big list the day that all those cops came to the house. I gave 2.
Oh, we got that, I'm talking about you have additional list?
Well, she said she didn't have a list.
I've got a gun missing list of all the guns.
Okay, with serial number?
I've got the serial numbers for some of them, but the Model 12 Winchester was only made until like 35 years ago or something, and they stopped. If you find one on today on the street, if it's Winchester Model 12, please investigate it, see who returned it in. But I've got serial numbers for the 45 that got stolen. The only difference, it's got a dot sight that hang at your clothes and you can tell exactly where he's hit. That is dangerous on the street. But this guy stole either 12 or 14, I forget. I've got him at, my mind is upset right now.
Yeah.
But I counted 14 holsters, and I think between all of them, I had 20 guns, including the ones that I got returned. And by the way, I want to ask you, I should have brought the sheet. I've got the officer's report that he returned to me a 45 millimeter pistol. And he gave the serial number. And I looked at the pistol itself, and it's a 177 BB gun. How does an officer make a mistake like that? I'm serious. I've got them recorded in the house. Well, the officer filled out, he returned a 45 millimeter.
Hey, guys, please don't, let's keep the extra chatter down so we can all hear.
They just really wanted to complain about, how she had that, how she had, cause they hadn't seen her. And she said she didn't have a list when I talked to her at all, but she said, see, I didn't even know, because I said, they didn't give you a list at all? Because she spoke with me at length on Thursday, because they were out of town, and I called them, and she talked to him from my house on my cell phone for a good while, because they were traveling at the time. But she said she didn't have a list. And so I said, they didn't give a list? She said, no, she doesn't have it. But then she said they didn't tell her that when I called her the day that they had found all the stuff in the yard. She said, nobody's giving you nothing. She said, nothing has changed. I said, everything has changed. And she said, no, nothing. I said, they found the things in the yard. So we're trying to get a search warrant. They said that you would bring the search warrant. And she said, well, I don't have anything. I don't have an update on anything. So.
I apologize. The detective, she was wrong. If she conducts herself that way, I apologize. But that's not the way we operate in investigations. I will take care of that matter.
I called her several times, these things. I didn't know she worked downtown at the time. And I called her several times at the precinct. They gave me several numbers. It didn't work. All I got was, I don't know how she did that. She did not answer her phone. And she was telling me she was busy. She had other cases to work on. And I tried to tell her, hey, I don't like what's going on and I am angry. Didn't bother her a bit. She's busy. But she come back to Daddy and said, oh, I got somebody else to arrest and papers to fill out. Besides, it's late. By the time I finish with this, it would be too late to come out and don't fight the traffic. I'll just come see you tomorrow. And I doubt if she will see me tomorrow.
She'll see you, Mom. She'll see you, Mom. I guarantee she'll see you, Mom. Or I have another detective see you. She'll see you.
Thank you.
So, anybody else? Guys?
Are they gonna give you the number that you can call for when you're out of town and we need a
Sure,
telephone number?
sure. 601.
Hold on.
This is the precinct's phone number.
Okay.
601 960 0004.
Precinct 4.
That's precinct 4, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Yep. 960 0004. Give us as much detail on like when you leave, when you're going to come back, if there's any cars supposed to be there or not be there. So we'll have all that information. If you have a gate that's locked, you want to give us the combination or let us know, because once you get to a gate that's locked, we don't generally jump fences, 6-foot fence to go check your backyard. I mean, we just don't. Yes, sir.
Now, I can attest to what the police can and cannot do. I have driven up to my house, my alarm had gone off. 3 patrol cars were out there. Officers were around my house. They could not get over my fence, plus my 2 pit bulls were in the backyard. But they're looking over the fence, they're shining the lights, they're shining in the neighbor's yard, see what's going on over there. So they do their job.
That's another thing. If you've got a vicious dog in the back, we're not going back there. Y'all can understand that.
Well, they probably at the 2 o'clock, but he may not have gotten back there anyway because, but ADT, and we let them know that the neighbor next door, because all they had to do was ring the doorbell.
Yes,
And they
ma'am.
would have awakened me if they knew, if the officer had known that I had a key. Maybe the ADT did not relay that to him.
And is
That
that,
the neighbor at 1139 has a key. I don't know.
and is that something when we put it on watch that we can let the officers know? So
Yeah,
that might be
yeah,
a
that's
second-
something
that's-
else would be helpful, that,
The
hey, my next door neighbor,
right
and this
next
is their
door.
name and phone number, and contact them if you see anything, and or if the alarm goes off, to let them know. That, everything like that, any details you give us, we'll put it on what we call the direct patrol, and at the beginning of every roll call, they assign that to whoever that beat officer is, so they make sure they do that. And they have to fill it out every time they go by, times and all that. Yes, ma'am, you got a question back there?
No, I don't have a question about what we've been talking about so far, but I do have a complaint.
Okay.
On August the 2nd, I called for an officer to the scene of 5846 Ridgeway Road because I had some young boys that had come across the fence, that apartment complex directly behind house there. And when I drove through the complex over there, I'm the landlord there, they was out there stealing water. They was flooding up to the burnt building over there, washing cars and stuff over there on a number of occasions. And when I came through there and said something to them, they of course cursed me out and blah, 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 and carried on. So I called for an officer to come, and the guys went upstairs to one of the buildings over there, one of the office spaces up there. And when the officer got there, it took him about 15 minutes to get there. I waited outside for him, and we went upstairs, and I explained to him what had happened. And I told everybody in there that was not on the lease to get out. And at that point, we found some, that they had been smoking marijuana in there, drinking and going on, and the kids up there was all underage. I told them, at that point, I called the person that was on the lease, told them they needed to get there. They had, and that I explained to them on the lease that if there was any drug or alcohol in the premises, that they were immediately evicted. But the problem became the officer. He knew the tenant.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to write. What was the address again?
5846
Ridgewood Road.
What time of day or night was that? Do you remember?
It was around I think between 4 and 5 in the evening, afternoon, in the evening. There was one officer in the car.
What? I'm sorry. What was the
There
apartment?
one officer in the car that came.
Right. Well, that's why we. What was the apartment number?
Suite, there are several suites, so it's a 2-story brick building across from where Virginia College is. The only 2-story brick buildings on Ridgewood Road, directly across, Shell Service Station on one side and Sonics across the street. It's the only 2-story brick building there.
Okay.
Anyway, he began to show me the things that I needed to take pictures of. He said that would help me as far as evicting them, because we could see where they had taken a little black and mild and took all the tobacco out of them, and how they put the dope in this stuff and smoked cigarettes and all the alcohol and stuff. And you could see the ashes from the smoking marijuana and stuff on the table and stuff. But then when he found out the name of the business, he knew him and told me he had went to school with him, and he wanted to wait outside for the owner to show up. And he waited, and he waited, and he waited. And at that point, after he got there, owner got there, and we had a long talk, he told me he knew him, they went to school together and everything, and I'm not feeling him now. I'm not feeling him at all. But, to make a long story short, when the owner got there, they had a talk. And it ended up with him telling me, oh, you know you gotta give them a 30-day notice. I know the law back and forth. I know what I have to do. Been doing it 20 years. I'm still not feeling him. And then he went to, how would you like it if if you had security up here? Someone that came up here in a uniform, rode through here, checked the kids' ID and all this stuff. Because I was telling him, you can't have these kids up here underage, up here in here, without their parents' consent, because it's a studio, a music video studio. Because if something happens to these kids, you ought to be sued, anything could happen. But he was defending them, because he knew them, went to school with them. And it ended up, when I left there, he had him a job, being their security. $120 a week. Riding through there, checking kids' ID and stuff.
What was the officer's name? Did you mention that? Do you know?
No, I don't remember.
I'll find out.
Okay.
I'll find
I
out.
don't remember.
And you have no concern.
But I got his picture.
There you go.
Get with me after the meeting.
In his uniform,
Yeah, I had a question.
same day.
We've been trying to work on Wynn Road. We had a vehicle parked out there, and I think I talked to you about it before. Now it's going on 2 months and it's still sitting there.
What and what kind of vehicle is it?
It's
Nissan
Altima. It's there. The officer came out. He tried to just talk me out of us looking. his vehicle sent him to tag been out for 6 months. And everything else, he had parked on the street, God sakes, I said.
What color is it?
It's like a
Is it 1217?
Like a tan?
Is it 1217?
Guys,
Monroe?
gotta
1217?
Yeah, 1217 Monroe. I was there when we drove out. I've been trying to get him to do something with that vehicle.
And it's a champagne tan color?
It is, something like a brown, different champagne.
The house been foreclosed, and they left their car there.
And it's on the street?
It's on the street. It tagged been out, I don't know.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
Okay, guys, do we have any more questions that the deputy chiefs, or the assistant chiefs need to weigh in on? I'm sure it's okay.
I noticed that you are writing everything we were saying down. You're the
Commander.
commander. You don't get the reports. See, I'm a supervisor. In the day, I want my reports.
Right.
I just know what went on. You don't get the reports?
I get-
Because all of this seems like it's brand new to you.
No, no.
Like, what
I-
color is this? What color is the car?
Well,
You know.
I think if I remember correctly, the last meeting, I passed that on about that car, but I just wanted to make sure that I relay it to these officers. They were supposed to put a sticker on it. This was the last I knew of. They tow
They put a
cars,
stick on it months ago.
yeah, well, when I get out of this meeting, it will be gone. But I pass that on to my supervisors, and we have so many cars like that and other calls that we address, and I leave it up to my supervisor. When I get information back like this, then I step it up. That car will be gone within an hour after I leave here.
All right. There are people here that hold you to that.
No problem.
All right, so one more.
I want to ask a question about the Citizen Academy. Is there a benefit for us to try and pursue getting into that academy to learn some things, and if so, what are they? And another thing I wanted to ask is could there be any consideration for this academy being offered to the association so that we could have this information? Because if you look around the room, a lot of us are senior citizens, which means that our mobility is limited. I know for going at night, and the Citizen Academy is always at night. And I wondered if this academy could be offered during our association meeting, if not, but giving us 30 minutes of the training so that we will be more equipped to scan our neighborhood to figure out some things that's going on. So what would you say the benefits would be?
We've been having them every 6 months, every quarter. In fact, it started this week. I'll make sure to get y'all an application, and it is usually at night. It usually starts around 6 o'clock to about 8 o'clock. It's Monday through Friday, and even on Saturday they go out to the pistol range. You tour headquarters. You start learning what detectives do, what officers do. You do a ride along. On Saturdays, you go out to the pistol range. They have a demonstration from the SWAT team and the bomb squad. And so we'll try to get some of those officers that do that and participate in that to come to one of y'all's meetings and just kind of give a better description of what all happens and goes on, if that would benefit you. In fact, I was looking for a man that usually comes here. I don't know his name, but he's real tall. And in fact, tonight, he had lost his Citizens Police Academy hat, and I brought him one, but he's not here tonight. Yeah, so I was going, that was last month he asked for it. I was making good on my promise, and he's not here tonight. So if y'all can give him my phone number so I can get him his hat.
And I just have one more comment.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
for the association work. I want to say today is Tuesday, so it had to be Sunday. My neighbors 2 doors down approached me and asked me, did I see a black truck? Well, I have been in and out of the house, and I didn't see the black truck, but I did see a car parked in front of my house that was watching me, and I was staring at him, to see who was he talking to. But I didn't see the black truck. They stole the neighbor's lawnmower. And he walked up the street and said he saw them taking the lawnmower. He just couldn't run fast enough to get a license plate. And I had just walked back in the house when he was coming up and say they had just stolen it. But he did recognize that it was a black truck, so I just want to put that out there, that he said he thought it was 2 people. One got the lawnmower and put it on the back of the truck, and and then the other guy helped him, to close up they let the lid down. And he saw it, but he just couldn't move fast enough to get any information.
Did they call the police?
He didn't call the police. He said he didn't call the police because the truck, he couldn't get no identification on the truck, and he just
But
said
in the future, if you would, even though you don't get a tag number, call 911 and give that description of a black truck. If it's a Ford or a Chevy or Dodge, that way we get it on the radio, and it may be an officer right down the street could turn and catch them. So we don't want to, just because you don't have all the information, give us what you got so we can, be proactive and catch these folks. And back to the missing items, we have a program that's called Leads Online. And so it's designed for the pawn shops around here and in the metro area, not just Jackson or Hinds County, but when they buy stuff, they enter it on Leads Online, and our detectives look to see if it matches any of the description, and it will even flag those things that when you've got serial numbers on it. So it may not be today or tomorrow, but I've even got a gun out there floating somewhere. Yes, ma'am.
What if they don't have serial numbers? Because all my coins I have, they don't have serial numbers.
Right.
All I know is sterling, solid silver.
It's
And
going to be,
they're gone.
and more than likely, they're going to sell those probably in a bulk, and that's going to be a kind of a red flag there. And if you have another item that's missing, you don't have a serial number on it, something, and I'm not saying coins, but some other item that's, you can identify it that's different from another one that's just like it's got a scratch or a sticker or something that makes it unique from another item just like it. Yes, sir.
Most of the pawn shops, I don't know if I
Check for your ID.
but in North Carolina, you go to a pawn shop, you gotta show your driver's license.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know,
And
another question I'll ask.
Yes, sir.
When people in a house, and guys coming up and selling, buying drugs, that's a problem too.
No doubt.
So, in my neighborhood, they say they've been to the house several times, across the street from Acton. And guys go there and buy drugs, and that's not good in your neighborhood.
No, it's not.
Well, it's not good, and let me give you my card. I'm sorry I don't have enough cards for everyone out here, but my vice and narcotics unit.
I'd like to make a comment too. Every time I
Give me a call.
JPD or either the city of Jackson, the front line of the phone is pretty rough. I mean, you need to get those guys some kind of public service training or something. I mean, very sharp, very rough.
Are you talking about the 911 dispatchers?
No, just anytime, I just, not only the police department, the city of Jackson, and police department, everybody talks to them, they're very tough and very rough. And,
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
There is a protocol in which they're supposed to take, and when they answer the phone, and we do random checks to see if they're doing it, and sometimes we catch them, these, sometimes we don't. And so if you're having that problem, we appreciate if you would get in contact with that director of that department, like water department, if it's police department, if it's major investigation, get in contact with me. I need to know that. If my detectives are being rude or not doing what they're supposed to do, I want to know that. That's the only way we can correct it. We're not perfect.
And y'all
We're not perfect.
have corrected it,
Yeah.
because I've had a problem with several dispatchers, and since then. Communications, can I help you?
Okay, so guys, it is 7:30 now. Like, we still have some other things we need to do.
I just want to let you know, Chief Davis is on his way.
Okay.
He's on his way.
But let me, okay. Is he on the way? Okay. All right, we'll stick around. I was just telling everybody,
Guys,
yeah.
please quiet, please.
We'll still be around, but before we leave, I just want to thank everybody for inviting us out here. Because if it's something broke, that's right. Thank you for inviting us. And we're here. We're gonna be here. We got to hold it down till the chief get here. Okay. Now, if something broke, we're here to fix it. You know, like I said, we're not perfect. And if my officer gave bad customer service, we definitely gonna fix that. So I'm gonna give everybody my number while I'm here. I don't have enough cards to pass out to everybody. My cell phone number is 601. Okay.
Hang on.
502 6233. Tiny. Deputy Chief Tiny Harris.
What's your last name?
Harris. Harris. Harris.
And your first name?
Tiny. Tiny.
Like a little bit.
And let me give you the ones, I don't have cards for everyone, but I'm the Deputy Chief over Major Investigation. My name is Derrick, D-R-I-C, Hearn, H-E-A-R-N. My cell number is 601-500-2571. My office number is 601-960-1623. Deputy Chief over Major Investigation. I handle all the major investigations that comes through the department.
And your last name is Hearn.
Hearn, H-E-A-R-N.
Okay, guys. Okay, so Chief Davis.
Yes.
Chief Davis has made it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Pardon for my tardiness, but I was sitting in the middle of city council meeting. So this meeting just happened to be on the same night that the city council is taking care of city business. I'm one of the directors, so it's my duties and responsibility to be there. So pardon my tardiness. So as soon as I get done here, I got to go back there because it may be a long night. So first of all, I want to apologize to, what's the family? The family, is they here? Okay, yeah, I want to apologize for your experience. You know, my desire is that people respect people and people buy their own goods instead of breaking in someone's house stealing. But however, my concern is, and I talked to the president. Who was the president? Yeah, I spoke with him several times. Where's that?
Well, I'm the president of Lawrence, but you talked to
Who I spoke
Mr.
with?
Larry.
Mr. Larry Litter. Yeah, and I spoke with him several times, and the neighbor. Who was the neighbor? Yeah, and I spoke with you, and I'm sorry for your experience. I know you called me because you didn't receive the services that you thought that was needed because you was a reporter. You called the judge and asked for a search warrant, but that didn't happen. And we failed to communicate on that. But since then, we made the corrective measures. We got a judge to sign the search warrant. We got in there, to my understanding. Did you tell him our action? We got the search warrant. We got some guns back. Yeah, and crime happens, and we just didn't follow through with the information that we got from a citizen like yourself. And thank you for looking out for your neighbor, because you kind of told me to run down on your neighbors, and I thank you for being a good neighbor and looking out for them. But my responsibilities, and that's my commitment, is to provide the citizens of Jackson with the best police services. We must develop a better police product, and I'm committed to doing just that. So we're getting officers trained on, we actually have a search warrant training going on right now. As soon as I talked to you and I found out you talked to the detective, somebody was unsure about how to go about getting a search warrant. Right now, today, everybody's getting trained on how to get a search warrant and when to. All this, the whole process is in place because it was some uncertainty about that who do it. So every officer will be able to call the judge on the evidence they get from our citizen and do a search warrant. So I'm glad that you got your equipment back, and I'm glad that you was a. You didn't get it. Okay.
He got a few items back.
Well, you got, and understand right now. We understand that you are upset,
I am very upset.
and you got the right to be. But
Police department let me down because
no, the
I
police,
was in training.
the police officer did not let you down. The criminal let you down because the criminal broke in your house. And I understand. I understand that you.
Have
But
a security system if the police don't do anything. So far, I have had I haven't called him back because I couldn't get the commander to answer the phone.
this commander right here, he's your commander.
The commander.
He didn't answer your phone. Who?
No, you're talking about my commander.
Who was that? Where was she at?
Well, she's not here. He called me you called me the other day.
Yeah, about the commander.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
He did.
But I had called the commander several times and she quit answering her phone, but you wanted me to call Officer Ridley. And I called Ridley.
Commander working tonight?
Never answered the phone.
He working tonight? Why she's not here?
And I finally,
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I finally called the assistant chief and I asked him for help. I needed to get a hold of the commander because Ridley wasn't answering her phone and I couldn't get a hold of the commander. I had no help coming. This has been going on for days.
Mm-hmm. Nobody called you.
Nobody called me. Officer, the commander, listen, the commander swore, oh, I'll be down there after lunch.
Hey, see you call Commander Heather come to this meeting.
The commander says, I'll be there after lunch.
Mm-hmm.
She never came.
Okay.
And I called her the next day and I said, what happened? I said, if you grew up with a dad like I grew up, if you didn't show, you'd call somebody. Oh,
Exactly.
well, I am sorry. After I wish the commander would be here tonight.
Well, she's on her way. He's calling her right now. She's on her way. Yeah. Well, hey, we'll come to your house. We'll come to your house. And folks, I believe in commitment. I believe all I am is a public servant. And I believe if the citizen call the police, we must provide the better police service. We're not perfect, and there's no police department in the world that's perfect.
That's dealt with me, has left me in the dark and fed me mushrooms.
Well, you never called me. I would have came to your house, and let me give you my number right here.
I would love your number.
Yeah, it's my number. And everybody, please write my number down. 601. My number is 601 259. And I got a stack of cards. You pass these cards out. My number, cell phone, everything. These are my numbers. 601 259 0538. And you can rest assured, you got my word on this here. If somebody dropped the ball, I will fix that. That's my job to fix it. If you didn't get that call back, we're going to deal with it tonight, or we're going to be at your house tomorrow. Okay, we're going to fix that tonight because we signed up to serve our citizens. We're not perfect. No police department perfect. But we must put an effort in making things right. And that's my word. And we're going to do that. That's going to happen. She on the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. She come however. Yeah, we have. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, that's a silver house. No, it's a...
Who told you that?
A police officer on the beat looked at the receipt I had from the lady. She says, that's a civil matter. Take it up with the courts.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she abused me because I couldn't move fast enough.
You said
I
she?
can understand everything she
You said female? Female officer?
No, a male officer. Well, a female came with him one time. But a male officer said he looked at the receipt for her construction, and he says, that's a civil matter.
Okay.
I said, well, okay. I went to civil court, and they said I needed an address. Can you help me with an address? No, that's not our job.
Did the commander come out to your house?
Nope.
Did deputy chief come out?
Nope.
Did
An
deputy?
officer came out to my house.
Okay.
And told me he was on the police force. He came out to call. I called him when I realized that I had been taken. And other cities have prosecuted the same woman and thrown her under prison
Okay.
for abusing elders.
Okay.
And if it can't be done here, I don't know what to say.
Okay. Well, we can fix those issues. Internal issues, sir, you can take my word. We're going to fix those. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to try to help.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all got it.
Yeah, I got it.
And she had taken.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay, that's something
So-
different.
And so that's why the officer said it was a civil matter.
Okay, I got you.
It wasn't an address.
I got
However,
you.
she had been convicted in other states
For doing the
for
same thing.
defrauding
Okay.
elderly
People, right.
people. So he
Right.
wanted them to take up that matter.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Yeah, yeah. That was civil. That's agreement between you and her, but she took advantage of you. So, you know. But yes, ma'am.
In terms of neighborhood patrol, I know that the beats will be whatever, you know, we have some of the officers on duty, but I've been living there since November, and I don't recall an officer on my street no other time. I've never seen one. So how often do you patrol, how do you determine what streets or neighborhoods you patrol?
Well, you got a deputy chief live on your street, Greenboro?
I live on Winrose.
Well, I don't know. Commander,
Well,
tell what
we
you
have beat structure, and let me give you the diagram of precinct 4.
No, she's talking about her street.
Well, I know.
Talked about her.
And so we have 10 beats in our precinct. Our precinct boundary lines are Fortification North. Going west on Fortification, the Mill Street, the train track, is our west boundary. It goes back to the river, and it goes from Fortification up to County Line Road. We have 10 beats. So in your area, there's one officer assigned. Now, occasionally when they get accidents, like today, there was an accident on 55 close to Lakeland Drive. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 cars to block the interstate so people don't get run over and killed.
She needs to know
And
what
so
have
they
you
try
put
to
in
ride
place on
around.
her and on what's the name of the street?
Winrose.
Winrose.
So
Spell that right quick. Spell that. W-I-N-N-R-O-S-E. All right. Well, tonight you will see the police tonight. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
They gonna come down my street, I'm on Burn Creek, I'm on the corner of Burn Creek and Plantation.
Yeah.
And when they come by my street, I just wanna tell them thank you, because I
Thank
really
you.
do appreciate it. And
Thank
like,
you.
even when I see them doing roadblocks, and I'm not doing anything, I just wanna say
Thank
thank
you.
you. Because your presence go a long way.
It does.
In the neighborhood, so I'm thankful.
Yeah, they try to
Yeah,
ride
yeah,
through the
yeah,
neighborhood
yeah.
as much as they can
Yeah.
between calls.
And-
My alarm did go off one night, I was dead asleep, I don't know what was going on, was something wrong with it, but they knocked on my door, 3 of them, and they were not convinced that there was nothing wrong. They wanted to come inside
Good.
and make sure everything was okay, so they are doing their job.
Good. Now, did we get everybody's number, cell phone number? Everybody, did all the staff of it give you their cell phone number? Everybody got their cell phone number. 24 hours a day, if you got anything going on in your community, please call. If you don't get a call, you don't get an answer from them, call me. My number is 601-259-0538. Call me, because I believe I'm a public servant. You call me, because I believe the citizens is our greatest resource. Superman and Batman is superficial. I don't want citizens to feel that they're prisons in their home. We ride around with an air-conditioned car. We ride around with blue lights. We got the resources to supply the city of Jackson with what we need to keep our citizens safe. and I'm serious about that. So if a citizen call, we gonna answer. When she called, give me your name again, I'm sorry. Sierra? Sarah. When Sarah called, that's when I couldn't believe that, what you told me. That's when I called the deputy chief, he was off. I called Banks, he sent Banks out there. He sent the sergeant out there, and we got that process rolling. So if you got something going on in your community, if you don't feel that you giving it proper police services, I will fix those issues. That's my job, to fix those issues, because you all are our greatest resource. That's why we signed up to do this job, because we want to help somebody, and I don't believe that things should fall on deaf ear. Crime happened, but we got to come up with solutions to fix those crimes when they happen. It's never going to be perfect, but we're going to put our greatest efforts to address those issues in every community.
And is there anything you'd like to see from us? I mean, like,
Keep calling. You got the numbers, and you know who in your community. If they don't call, you call me and say, Chief, the commander didn't call, the deputy chief didn't call, the sergeant didn't stop by. Just call me, and I'll fix those issues. If I have to come out, I will come out. So those little things like that, I believe in the community, because the community is the police.
That's right.
You're the police. So we cannot function and be successful without the community. That ain't gonna happen. And I'm not gonna fool myself that I'm way up here and the citizens way down here. If we do, we're fooling ourselves. Because if we do that, the criminals will take over a community. If the citizens don't speak up, the criminals will take up the community. They will take over a community. So when you got good neighbors like Miss Sarah, you got good neighbors like this here, that's what's important. And I encourage everybody, if you see something in your community, call your neighbor. See somebody suspicious, just call.
Well, on my street, I'm on Winrose, and so,
Okay.
I know Sandra Marsh and I are very vigilant.
Good.
At night, we wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to go to work the next day, but we look up and down the street.
Good.
If we see anything, we let them know. And at one point, it was a car parked, and it was a decent car, parked under the light post here at night. That's been back here a while ago. And so, of course, we discussed it. We got together and discussed it. We called JPD, they came out, but I'm gonna tell you something. Flowood police officer had been looking for this guy because he was a burglar and had burglarized some places in Flowood. And let me tell you something, that Saturday, they kept Winrose hot. And they eventually got him too. They did not stop.
Good.
And the last I heard, he was on the news, he was in jail.
Good. Yeah, that's what it takes.
But we are vigilant.
Good.
That's what we have to do. We have to look out for each other. You can't lay up in the bed and sleep
Right.
and sleep and sleep. You have got to keep an open ear.
You're exactly right.
You know, I mean, I would love to sleep all night long without getting up looking out the window, but I have my neighbors and I just want to, make sure that things are okay.
Right. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Well, you got that commitment from us, and we gonna come. And I apologize for your experience. That was shortcoming on our end as it relates to that search warrant. But when I got through talking to her and I got all the facts from Chief, I put that training in effect that day.
Can I make an application?
Yes.
I'm a disabled veteran myself.
Thank you for your service.
And disability. I see 20 years old, climbing on a car, parking in a handicapped space. And I said, what are you doing parking in a handicapped space? What? I park anywhere I want to. The signs all over Walmart says $150 fine or $250 parking. And they park where they want to because nobody enforces it. And I have run into ladies at Walmart, inside the Walmart, and ask us, what are you doing on that car? Because I was pregnant.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Well, that's the character of an individual. So, it's kind of hard to do that. But if we see one, we're gonna write it.
Nobody comes around the Walmart anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have If you go to Walmart on a Saturday morning and see how many cars slide in to those handicapped
Yeah.
spaces,
Yeah.
and just write the tag numbers down, you can see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
We still have a couple of things we need to go over before we break, and we're way over time right now. I know everybody wants to get home tonight. Is there anything else before we let them go?
No, we gonna stay because I got Banks has got to talk with you. She's on her way, Commander Banks.
I do want to say
So,
thank y'all for coming out.
Mhm.
Y'all knew this was going to be an emotional.
Well, it should be.
It
should be.
It should, but there are
look
people
at-
that would avoid that
Right.
kind of situation. And thank y'all for coming up here, being
Right.
calm,
Right.
taking the complaints and the energy we're sending to y'all, because it's
Yeah.
not good for anybody.
Yeah. Right.
And being here, because we had an incident when I first started where this is years ago, but policeman came, he got yelled at, never came back to a meeting because it was that was just not a good situation. So I just wanted to let y'all know we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We understand it's a terrible situation all around.
Yeah, it should be.
But we
It should
do
be.
appreciate you.
Yeah, and we appreciate our citizens. Without you, we gotta have a very, very difficult job. You know, we have a very difficult job. But I'll try to attend every meeting all across the city. I'll visit every corner. Late at night, I'm in somebody's house discussing some issues. But I don't look at as an excuse. I look at it as a calling and as a commitment. If you call, you ain't calling just because you like my haircut. You know, you calling me because you got an issue. And I believe to address that issue. If that don't work, we'll try something else. But I believe if the community come together as one, crime will not nest in our community. But we must work as one. Right, yeah. When you told me that, I'm like, my goodness. I know I bundled Chief Hearn phone up. You know, I see we got guns out on the street. Stuff is being burned in the backyard. When you painted that picture in that scenario, that's why I told you, just wait, they coming. If I was free, I would have came. So, but yeah, we gonna deal with Mr. What's your name? Well, yeah, we gonna get some information. Yeah. Okay.
All right. We'll y'all got my phone number.
And we gonna be here. So.
And so any issues, please call me. And Mr. Little calls me quite frequently or texts me, and we always try to address any issues we have. As we've said, we're not always perfect in everything we do, but once we find out there's a mistake, we try to make the corrections and go forward. And we just ask y'all to please continue to support us, and I know you do, and I appreciate y'all being here and inviting us here. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Call us. We want to make sure we provide the citizens with. It's bad that bad guys got to go and steal stuff that don't belong to them.
We got to support each other.
Yeah, we got to support each other, and that's what I want. The community, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. So.
Well, hey, right now, let me see. October 1st, I believe. Let me see. Sorry. Old business. National Night Out Against Crime, October 1st, 2019.
Yeah,
that's going to be
the
in
mayor
our
and everybody. Now, where you all going to be set up at?
We're going to be on. Hey, Arthur, what's your address? What? 1123 Winrose? 1123 Winrose.
Okay.
It's in his yard.
Yeah, shoot it out to me. Yeah, everybody's going to participate in the National Night Out, right? Everybody participating? Yeah. I think that's good. I love this time of year.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead. Let me get through the rest of this real quick, and then we can head out. All right. So, everybody, y'all all got minutes from last meeting, yes? Stella couldn't be here tonight, but yeah. Oh, you have a question? Oh, hey Larry, do we got any more of these? Okay, cool. I'm going to read this super fast, okay, guys? So listen, or you're not going to be able to hear. And I'm sorry, when I start doing stuff like this, I do sign with my daughter. She's 4, and I inadvertently treat everybody like they're 4 now. I'm sorry. So listen closely so you can hear. All right, Rpna minutes, August 20th, 2019 in the Piccadilly meeting room. We started at 6:35, meeting called to order by Vice President Ken Wilson. The prayer was by Ken Wilson. Our guest speakers were Commander Freeman, and it has his telephone number, and Lee Vance. We had a recap of the previous meeting. We had our financial report, $6,508.60. New members were Mr. and Mrs. Stanley from 1243 Greenbrier Street. Please remember to pay your dues. Yard of the month was Mr. and Mrs. Larry Little at 1234 Greenbrier Street. Our old business, Rpna meeting place, 50 ohms have paid the signage fee of $25. And we continuous discussion about potholes in our neighborhood. New business, we have the National Night Out Against Crime, October 1st, 2019. Special attention, like that's going to happen before our next meeting. So remember, October 1st, National Night Out. What's that? What time is it at? Do you know? 6 to 8. All right, 6 to 8 at Arthur's house. And give us that address one more time. 1123 Winrose. All right. So, August birthdays. Ken's was the 2nd. Mr. Dickens was the 12th. Mackey's was the 10th. Leslie's was the 12th. Pastor Glenn was the 12th, and mine was the 28th. Vice President's remarks. Vote Tuesday, October 27th, 2019 at Briarwood Presbyterian Church. Leslie has a new position as Director of Dance at Bellhaven. Thank you to all members for all that you do for Rpna. Our sick and shut-in and bereavements were Mrs. Owens was sick. Corbett's grandson is hospitalized. Ken's mother-in-law is hospitalized. The moments, we'll skip that. Door prize is given. 7:30, we adjourn with the prayer. Ken Wilson. All right, so I read that fast. Do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes as read? Do I have a second? All in favor? All opposed? Beautiful. All right, Larry, do you want to give us a financial report? You want a financial report? Larry?
Let's bypass it.
Let's bypass it? All right. So, remember the dues. Yard of the month this month. Congratulations to Brenda Harris at 6120 Fern Creek Drive. Are you here? There you go. Come on up. Thanks so much. And Mary has a little something for you. There you go. Thank you so much. And thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. New business. Do we have any new business? Do we have any? Yes.
Where Virginia College is, I'm noticing that it's 18-wheelers. Just parking there. Down stacks of. So, is there anything we can do about that?
I am not.
Yeah, we work on the issue of was it Ken? So been writing a letter, it was something like that.
Okay, and unfortunately he couldn't be here today.
Still, I've seen a lot of them out there.
Yeah, they're still there.
Is there any, since you're here, is there anything about like parking in abandoned parking lots?
Well, they have the owner has to call it in. We can't go police.
So we need to contact the owner and have them call it in. Perfect.
They were working on something with the who owned that building, that property.
Perfect. We'll put that on. We'll put that on.
Still in all, Commander Freeman, if you will make sure they're parking at Virginia College parking lot. If you can have the beat unit to patrol that lot, and just make them aware of the 18-wheelers traveling on the street. If we see any violations, make them aware of that, because they may not know it, because the police is not asking. So let's do that.
And we'll get an update for next meeting. It's just we're going fast. Okay, so September birthdays. Raise your hand. Anybody born in September? Yes. What? The 10th? Anybody else? All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Latoya. Happy birthday to you.
How old are you?
President. Oh, that's not a nice question. Oh, goodness. All right. So, President remarks. I got none. Do we have any sick, shut-in bereavements that we need to acknowledge? I'm trying. Yeah.
Are we still having a garage sale?
What date was that?
That's what we talked about last time.
You talked. Okay. October 5th. Yes.
Is anything wrong with weather? From the extent it's still 19.
Okay.
We didn't report it here.
5th, October 19th, if rain. All right, cool. So, it's at your own. The garage sales are at your own house. It's just we advertise it as a group, and I've got that stuff out. As far as I have the advertisements out for it, and we're doing a garage sale. I don't know if anybody else is, but so. Okay, so guys, October 5th, neighborhood-wide garage sale. It's not like we're not getting together as a group to do it, but we're all having garage sales that same day. I'm putting out on social media and things and the garage sale site that we're having a neighborhood-wide, so people will be driving through the neighborhood to hit up the garage sales if we have it. It did really good a couple of years ago. It did so last year, or the year before last. Or so, whatever. We didn't do one last year. But this year we're doing it. It just worked better in October. So if you want to have a garage sale, it's a great time to have one. It's at your own house, but we'll just drive traffic into our neighborhood. Cool. Kiddos, if you want to run a lemonade stand, that might be a good day to do it.
What time is it
Dawn. I think it'd be up to whoever. We start at dawn because that's when all the bargain hunters come out.
They're gonna show up about 6.
Yeah.
6 to 6:30.
All right. Okay, so any sick or shut-ins? Guys, we're trying. Is there any sick or shut-ins that we need to acknowledge?
Yes, Mr. President, Ms. Nora Owens on Plantation, and Mr. Taylor lost his mother. And one more, who was someone that's sick? Someone else, I think.
Okay. And I'm traveling to Texas tomorrow morning to visit my uncle. He has pancreatic cancer. So if you'll keep us in your prayers and thoughts, that'd be awesome. Thank you. All right. So do we have door prizes tonight, or we're skipping that too?
We gonna do door prizes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get that done. Door prizes. And at the end of each meeting, we're wrapping it up now. We encourage people to take what we call member moments, 5 to 10 seconds to say something positive. We want to end on a positive note. So this is not a time to say, I want to say something, I hate my neighborhood. No, that's not what we're doing. This is like, hey, I saw somebody picking up the trash along the road and I just want to give them a shout out or something like that. So anybody want to do?
Chief does.
Okay, Chief.
Okay, Sandra.
I got something positive. We got a police recruit class in session right now. I think we got 17 individuals. And we got one starting at the end of this month. We're looking to have 27 at the end of the month. So you'll see more police police on the streets. So, and I ask that y'all help me out to help them. When I come on, took it over as chief, I asked for a recommitment. And that recommitment on the back of the cars, you see committed to serve. I changed from protect and serve to committed to serve, because to be a police officer, there's a difference between a police officer and a committed police officer. So I asked for that recommitment, and also I changed the color of the car. You see the orange stripe. That's been so attractive to kids. So I ask that you, as you see that car roll through your community, please flag them down, tell them how much you appreciate them, and tell them, if you don't know what else to say, just say Chief Davis, say hello. Because we kind of working together to build this bridge, and I need the community to help me reiterate to them on how important it is to get the community involved. And we are the ones have to approach the citizens, because a lot of citizens don't really know what do I say to police. Flag them down, say thank you for the job. Chief Davis, say hello. They know exactly what you're talking about. But for us to get better and stronger as a city and a community, it takes us all coming together, working together. And when we do that, I often say crime won't nest in our community, and we can live a quality life here in our capital city. So I'm excited about the recruit class. We're going to have one back-to-back. That's the first time in history that we had classes back-to-back. And I'm so excited because we got young people. As I look over the application, they just want to help. You know, they've been victims in the city, and they just want to give back. And a lot of young people they're out for themselves. So I'm encouraged when I see these young people just want to give back to their community. So that's the good news I have. Thank you for your time.
Anybody?
Loretta Megan.
You want to come out and talk with us? Okay.
Loretta?
So thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Anybody else got some moments they want to talk?
Okay.
Something positive.
Reverend Clay.
Thank you, baby.
Reverend Clay, Larry.
Reverend Clay?
This is your mother?
Okay. You got a prize, sir. If you have any other positive moments, anybody?
Well, I want to thank my neighbors for coming out. I text Miss Rose, Toya, Emma. Thank you all so much for coming out.
Awesome.
Okay, now.
Any-
Helen Donaldson.
She's gone already.
Oh, she gone. Oh, she missed her prize.
Okay.
Emma Redding. Yeah.
Emma?
I got something then. I was working on my car today because got some stuff messed up, and I had 4 different neighbors stop to ask if I needed a jump. And I was like, no, thank you. I don't need a jump. I got the tire off. So, but yeah, it was great. It's wonderful living in this neighborhood, guys. Like, I lived behind Baptist Hospital when I first moved to Jackson because, you know, you get $200 a month for rent. That's where you live. And I didn't know anybody in the neighborhood, and I was frankly afraid of a lot of people in the neighborhood because there's bullet holes in the walls and stuff. So this is a great neighborhood, guys.
I think the vice president out one morning, I think, pick up paper along the plantation, put it on the key.
Ken? Yeah.
Lynn Corbett. Carolyn Johnson. Is that Brenda Harris? Oh, wait a minute, hold on, now you got, I did
Okay, guys, like we're just about done with the door prizes. I do want to remind you all, we get this room free from Piccadilly because they're very kind, but they do ask that we eat here. So I want to encourage everybody, get some of their delicious food. It's great, and if we don't eat here, we will end up needing to pay for the room. So we're gonna do it one way or the other, and we just like everybody to go ahead and partake while you're here. I'm just encouraging. I'm not saying you have to. What's that?
Is that right, baby? Tanzila.
Okay. Is that it, or is there one more? One more. Okay, cool.
And the last one is John Harmon.
He's outside.
Move on to somebody?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, okay, guys, that's it for the door prizes. Reverend, if you lead us in prayer, we'll get on.
Excuse me, 1 minute.
Oh, sorry.
1 minute, just 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Thank everyone for coming tonight.
Yes.
Ridgewood Park getting ready to do the new decorative stop signs, street signs, speed limit signs. If you go to Lake Trace Homeowners Association, you will see the black, pretty decorative signs. We're going to remove all of the City of Jackson signs. But we can't do it without your help. We need $8,000. I think we have $2,000 already.
Whose street is it?
We asking $25 per household. You go to McDonald's, get you a burger every day for that. So let's get involved. Mail your money in, PayPal, app, what's the app? Cash App. So many ways that you can pay for this. We wanted to do the first phase in August, but people have been a little slow with the money coming in. Come on, y'all. Send the $25 in. That increased your property value by 7%. Come on. You see the signs we got in the neighborhood telling you about, you call this number, about the street project sign. Come on, we all in this together. So that's what's going on now. And hopefully the first phase probably won't get started until March. We wanted to kick it off in August and September, but the money's coming in very slow. Pay you $25, that's all we asking, per household. $25, and we'll have our $8,000. The city gonna do the installation free. That's $4,000, but they're gonna waive that fee and do it absolutely free. We're waiting on your $25. We need your $25. Come on, help us in the neighborhood. Woohoo! Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Before we get. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and let Reverend lead us in prayer, and then we'll get out of here. So everybody, please.
Oh man, let me get over here. Come on.
Larry.
This is from top. Let me get it. Okay, you go to.
Okay.
Whenever you want to see my picture, look on the camera space. Whenever you want to see my picture,